My name is Nicole Duncan. Today I will be speaking about racism. Was it worse then, or is it worse now? I will be using pronouns when I am done speaking. I want the audience to see that racism is still a major factor today and is still as strong as it was in the 50s. Biblical references will be shown that racism was a good start and raises an issue, just not spoken out loud. Or is it not a big of a problem at all? I will give good example that it is just not color, but also gender and sex. Racism can be seen through pointing out poem and movie quotes, by using laughter when I am saying something funny, extending my voice when the seriousness proceeds with my paper, pronouncing my words, speaking slowly, and the audience will be able to understand where I am coming from with my views and opinions on this topic. I will make sure to thank my listeners to show that I have come to the end. Hey, stop! That man! He's dressed in a robe, and I bet he has a bomb on that plane. Racism. This has been a major issue throughout the times, starting back to the slave days. At that time it was acceptable and encouraged, not only as a form of tradition, but as a form of freedom and employment opportunity. Racism is not only a black and white issue, but much more today may be on the Middle Eastern races as well, due to the terrorist attacks. Racism is a very much major epidemic, a very silent epidemic at that. I will ask you what you can do as a person to not contribute to this ignorance and hatred. When you hear the word racism, you think color against color. But it's more than that. It's culture against culture. It's who feels that they are inferior to the other race, and it's religion against religion. Does anyone ever look at racism past its color issue to see a racist issue that also lies within culture and gender as well? People are being affected by the issue from any starting age, as well as sex and religious views. They are as strong as an issue as color. What can you do as civilized people to not participate in this manner of ignorance and hate? After asking the question publicly of racism, I finally got this result, which showed about gender, workforce, and political racism. The answer I did get was this. It's definitely showing its ugly face back to the forefront. Think about what politicians are saying about women. They should not be able to make as much money as men. Also look at the fact same-sex marriages should not be allowed, and as well as they should not be allowed into the military. Racism is blown out of proportion and can only be ingested by people as a reason to cause conflict in the world. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his or her skin, her or his background, or his or her religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Does anyone ever look at racism past its color issue? To see a racist issue that also lies within culture and gender as well. To those facing racism, all I can say is be brave and stay strong. To those racist, deep down in your heart, you must know it's wrong. God blessed us by putting us here, giving us all different shades of color. We're not meant to have the same color skin, but we all can respect one another. Gay marriages are as much as a race issue as color. It showed that most people support gay marriage rights. According to the poll, 53% say that the government legally should recognize same-sex marriages. An example of racism is this. Because we saw the type of culture that caused terrorist attacks on the United States, when we see anyone of Middle Eastern descent or dressed in different clothes as us, such as a turban on the head or a face completely covered, we get nervous and we make what we think are funny comments or whispers underneath the breath. What an example we, as the United States of America citizens, are setting for our younger generation. The best way to help lighten the mood on such a topic is to find the humor. Jon Stewart stated at the 78th Annual Academy Awards, "We've got movies about racism, prejudice, censorship, and murder. This is why we go to the movies. It's to escape racism, prejudice, and discrimination against anyone and everyone. It is all a major problem that will probably never go away. We as people won't let it. Many people think, oh, I'm not racist. But one needs to stop and think about how many times have you ever joked with one of your own religion, gender, political sect, and race against someone outside of your own views and beliefs. Why is racism much more of a problem today than it was in the past? Racism is much more worse today, more than yesterday, but just unspoken about. Not only is it about color, but not just gender bias, religion, territorial, and even event accounts. Racism goes back to quotes from the Bible, such as biblical references from Galatians 3:28. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male or female, for you are all one in Jesus Christ. White Proverbs states, the Negro has only the teeth of the white man. Black Proverbs states, the Negro's blood is just as red as that of the white man's. Racism, by definition, is a belief or doctrine that inherent differences among the various human races determine cultural or individual achievements, usually involving the idea that one's own race is superior and has the right to rule over the other. Racism is still taught within the home and whispered about in public or made through with evil stares. Racism is not taught. It is a learned issue. It is not taught on purpose, only picked up by younger generation by listening to the elders in the home or in their surrounding. Iran, Iraq, Bosnia, South Africa, and the IRA, to name just a few today. So much to hate, worth killing for. Your colored skin, your God, and more. What is this for? Trayvon Martin, a very tragic story of race-related issue of color killed by George Zimmerman, February 26, 2012. Ryan White, a case of racism where many others showed hate towards him, not understanding his disease, HIV, AIDS. This boy was given the disease through a blood transfusion in December 1980, just another form of racism. As for myself, until I did research, only thought race was a black and white issue. Boy, was I wrong. I have been hated on for being a woman with a high-ranking job position to where I made more money than a man that I have seen. Race since 9/11, and I have seen race coming from the people who want to run our country and want us as Americans to follow them as leaders. So racism is very much learned and taught inside the home. Maybe not through someone convincing you to lean towards their values, views, and beliefs, but something as simple as watching a commercial waiting for your show to come back on. Racism is still much as a problem today, and very old, and out there, just not spoken about. When the issue is spoken about, there usually is so much ignorance involved in the world, or not realizing that the joke one might be laughing with their friends about very well could be overheard by someone and took very hurt and personal. I'd like to thank you today for listening to my speech. Thank you very much.